Okay, we got our Bipe all dry fitted together. Now it's time to start putting electronics and auto control pieces in. I use the Durabro control horns. I like putting my control horns on while they're flat. It's just a little easier. And I'm going to start with the rudder. And the rudder, you want the control horn to come up about 1 inch off the bottom on this one. And so I marked a line on the inch. You also want the control horn, when you set it on here, you want the holes for the linkage rod to be dead center of your hinge. So once you mark where you're coming up 1 inch, hold that dead center, and then mark where the holes go for your screws, and then go ahead and put it on. And we're going to put this one on first, and then we'll move on to the elevator. Okay, I got the control arm on the rudder. Now the elevator, like I said, if you got the control, it goes just like this. So if you got the control arm for the rudder on the one side, you need the elevator on the other side. So I marked 1.25 inches from center, and I put the control horn on, so it's right over the hinge line, and you can see I'm going to have plenty of throw. So I've got the 2 control arms on the rudder and the elevator. Now we're going to start the wings. Okay, the control horns for the wings. You're going to need, I might have told you 6 earlier for the whole plane. Actually, you're going to need 6 for just the wings. Because you need the 2, tying the 2 wings together. And then you're going to need, so that's 4. Then you're going to need 1 for each side of the servos. Now I use dual servos. So, I mean, if you're using 1 servo, which you would be able to get away with, but I don't know. I use the dual servos on mine. So you remember we got the top wing has got the notch, and the bottom wing doesn't. So what I did, I marked 8.5 inches from the tip over, lined my wings up, and made sure my marks were equal. Here's where we're going to tie the wings together with the control arms. I'm going to start with the bottom one. So if I'm 8.5, if I put it to that side, it's fine. It's either side. It's not really critical where you put them, as long as you put them all the same. So I put my 8.5 inch mark over there. I'm gonna put it right to the edge, and you want the holes being out towards the back of the wing. And put those, I'm going to put 1 there, and I'm going to put 1 on the other side the same way. And so I'm going to mark those holes and go ahead and put them on. And then we'll do the top wing. So let me mark these and put these on. Okay, I got my control surfaces on the bottom wing, 8.5 inches in. I had marked the top one too. Now on the top, you want the control surfaces to be on this side, the bottom side of the top wing. And you can see where I had marked the line. So now it's time to put control surfaces on the top wing. Same way, holes facing out. And to your line. And we'll put these 2 on. Okay, one of my control arms here. If you got the Durabros and you're using these, what I do is once I line it up on my line, I take my screwdriver. I use a Phillips head screwdriver that I usually use on everything. Hold it down. Then you can mark the holes. And once you have the holes marked, what I usually do is just take that, it's a real small Phillips screwdriver. I usually just poke a hole right where my mark's at and come through the edge just so you can barely feel it coming out the other side. And I usually come back through and push the paper back in this way. And this is just an easy way to mark these and put them on. That way you push your papers. And then I put my screws in. And I like these door bros because they got the backing. And once you put these through the holes, I mean, it comes with the screws, comes with a backing plate. Then you can put your backing plate, hold it up here, and you can feel the screws. And they'll kind of come together. And the best thing I've bought is this little battery. I went to Lowe's and got this little battery operated. And it just getting these started so much easier. I just put just a little bit of tension on them. Hold them straight. Now this thing can torque quite a bit. I can hear it and feel it. It's come a little snug. Really, it's all you need. And once you know you got your control horn straight, then you can tighten the front one up to match it. You don't. That's plenty right there. See where I've squeezed it, but I've not really squeeze it all together. And later on, even if you want, you can even take a little bit of hot glue and run around these just so you know. Okay, so there's our here's our bottom wing with the control arms on the top. Here's our top wing with the control horns on the bottom. Then when we make a connecting rod here, it's going to move both of them. Alright, now you're going to need two more. As you can see, you put the servos, I put the servos on that one on the bottom wing once I cut the fuse. So on that control horn, you're going to want it on just a little bit of an angle. What I did, you can see where the fuse goes here. Matter of fact, I've even got some servos already kind of set up. And if you were going to cut the fuse out and say the servo was going to go here, and instead of being straight, you want just a little bit of an angle on it when you glue it in, so you can kind of see where you want your servo. You want everything being straight on your arm. So I'm saying somewhere like right in there would be nice on that little bit of an angle. And then once you get this one set, you can mark it and do the same thing on the other side. So if I'm going to put my servo here on this little bit of an angle, here's where I want my control arm to be nice and straight. So I'm going to put a little line right here on the right at the hinge. I got to get my control arms out, take them apart. Control horns. I'm always a little picky. I like pulling that off, trimming that little bit where they were stuck together. Now, knowing that this is my arm and rod, I'm going to want it to be in center. And then I want it center of my hinge. I can see where my crease is. So I'm going to set it right there. So again, hold it with my screwdriver. Mark the holes. And this time on this one, I'm going to mark a little line where I want it to go. So when I'm tightening it up, I know right where I want it. Okay. So then we poke our holes again. Push them through. And see, this is nice. Why I put these on now too, and plus you're going through the tape here too, so that's going to make it stronger. And I'll push both sides so I know the screws will come through. Now we'll install that one. Okay, so now we got all of our control horns on. One's for the servos, which will do your ailerons, and then the two that's going to tie the top wing in and make it move too. 6 control horns on the wings. I just like doing them while they're flat. You can wait and do it after it's all together, but I prefer to do it while it's flat.